If the money is right, I mean,
$100 million. I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
under 50.
Turkey Alalshik isn't going to rest until he makes sure we see the big fights.
It's over. This fight is over. Is Canelo Alvarez the fight you want next?
Well, you know what I say. If the money's right, we got to fight. But at the same time, you know, he got to fight.
He made Crawford and Madrimov aware of what happened, and now he has made Canelo agree to fight Crawford.
Switching up the narrative where they want to be loyal to a certain promotion.
Alalshik has been putting pressure on Canelo about this, and it looks like we will finally get the fight we all wanted. It's no secret that when Turkey Alalshik spoke after Crawford beat Madrimov, everyone was pleased with the confidence he showed.
Shout out to Turkey. Happy birthday. Yeah. I hope you had a good birthday. You know, we put on, I appreciate you for.
Now that it's official, Canelo Alvarez will fight Terence Crawford in Pennsylvania. Following Crawford's thrilling victory over Israel Madrimov, most fans are eagerly anticipating this highly awaited match. Turkey, a boxing powerhouse, has done a lot to make this mega match possible by putting pressure on Canelo to agree to the fight.
A fight for you, but an event. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, you know, it's politics. Politics was blocking me out.
Alalshik was in the ring when Crawford beat Madrimov. He saw for himself how determined and skilled Crawford was. Even though Madrimov had the majority vote and was ahead on the scorecards, Crawford worked very hard to win. Some people were not sure if he was really ready to fight Canelo at super middleweight after this showing, especially after his fight with Madrimov.
Have you enjoyed this so far?
So much. Of course, so much.
A strong message was sent to Canelo by Alalshik an hour before Crawford's fight with Madrimov. He was not scared. This news was broadcast on DA and PPVPV.com. ESPN Plus and Prime Video reach millions of fighting fans around the world.
Let me tell you what the real fight is. It's not Crawford and Canelo. It's Canelo versus Turkey Alalshik.
Alalshik's message was clear and straightforward. If he's smart, he'll accept these words. They brought pressure to Canelo, and well, it finally paid. Not even Canelo himself wants to be seen as not smart. Sure, that view was there when he took Berlanga and instead of Benavidez, but now he seems to be coming back to his senses, well, at least to most of his fans.
I think, you know, Berlanga doesn't have the experience that Canelo has. So I think it's a fight where he has to bring it to Canelo.
As the fight night continued, it became clear that Crawford's performance, while hard-fought, was not enough to discourage the plans for the super middleweight bout. Instead, it added fuel to the fire in increasing the anticipation for the upcoming fight.
Canelo fight, you know, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you're still pursuing it?
Not at all. You know, I think business talk.
And now the choice has been made, and the fight is on. The fight between Canelo and Crawford promises to be one of the most exciting in recent boxing history. Crawford, known for his tactical skill and tenacity, will face Canelo, and fans are already debating who will come out on top, with each boxer bringing their unique strengths to the ring.
It's one thing, I wouldn't think that Canelo watched Crawford on Saturday and was afraid of fighting him at 68. I think for Canelo it's more about the credibility he gets through victory.
While all this is on the table, we can all agree that Crawford's move to super middleweight is a bold one, and it shows his desire to take risks and challenge himself against the best. Despite some questions about his inness after the Madrimov fight, Crawford is confident and ready to take on Canelo. This fight will be a true test of his abilities and will surely cement his place in boxing history, win or lose. On the other hand, Canelo, with his excellent track record, will not take this fight lightly. He knows that Crawford is a dangerous opponent, and he will prepare accordingly. He has even appreciated Crawford's skills, saying how skilled he is and how much of a great fighter he is, all that while slipping in a little ego in it, adding that Crawford will definitely be an easy fight for him. And while some Canelo fans see this as a possible truth, we can't just ignore the skill in Crawford that even Canelo himself sees, and for sure it will definitely not be an easy fight.
For me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money.
Well, if there is one thing we've learned from this, it's that money is power. And in the world of boxing, no two figures are proving this more conclusively than Saul Canelo Alvarez and Turkey Alalshik. Now Alvarez is about to receive a $35 million guarantee to face Edgar Berlanga, a plus 800 underdog. Berlanga's odds are so long that even at plus 2,000, he wouldn't be called a value bet. Canelo's ability to draw in massive amounts of money allows him to take on fights where his win is almost guaranteed. yet he still gets paid as if it's a highly competitive super fight. And you can all guess what this is, and yes, that's power.
If the money is right, I'm in, because you know I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great.
On the other hand, Al-Sheikh, the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority and the driving force behind what is now widely referred to as Riyadh season, holds power through his ability to spend enormous amounts of money. He effectively walks around with several books full of blank checks, and the Saudi government is willing to overpay to ensure the fights Al-Sheikh wants to see happen come to fruition. Fighter promoters, broadcasters, and media personnel across the sport are eager to be part of his plan to offer one of those blank checks to Alvarez in order to get him in the ring with Terence Crawford, who was recently named an ambassador for Riyadh season.
The type of fight Terence Crawford is different. 168, but like I say, like he say, nobody's gonna give me credit for that.
This scenario involves a man for whom money is no object trying to find the price at which he can secure a fight with another man for whom money, while not entirely irrelevant, is certainly less of a worrying than it used to be. However, an interesting twist has emerged as the two most powerful men in boxing find themselves at odds with each other. They've inadvertently stumbled into a straight competition, and Al-Sheikh may have overstepped by daring to challenge Alvarez publicly.
Left hand gets in. Fights out. Just this.
The influence of Saudi money has made it possible for UFC 306 to be scheduled at the Sphere in Las Vegas on September 14th, with Riyadh season sponsoring the mixed martial arts pay-per-view event. Coincidentally, on the same day, about 2 miles away, at the T-Mobile Arena, Alvarez will be fighting Berlanga also on pay-per-view. This sets the stage for a direct competition between two major events. The extent of this competition remains uncertain. It's often said that there is around a 5% overlap between boxing and MMA fans, though this figure is not verified. While it might seem quite tiny, a 5% difference can matter. For instance, if a pay-per-view event expects to sell 500k PPVs, a 5% reduction means a loss of 25,000 viewers, which is not trivial. As a result, UFC and PBC find themselves as rivals on September 14th. Al-Sheikh, who has so far avoided taking shots at boxes and has campaigned for unity and collaboration in the sport, is now starting to sound like a traditional boxing promoter, positioning Canelo as an adversary. And his words to ESPN about Canelo are particularly interesting, with him saying, "We will eat him," coming from the mouths of most promoters. That would be an unremarkable comment. However, coming from this promoter whom some view as the man to heal all of boxing's wounds, pulling for boxing's flagship superstar to fail is a choice.
I don't think Terence Crawford can figure it out, but he surprised me and I think everyone in the boxing world how good he is, what he did to Errol Spence. And you're like, well, if he did that to Errol Spence and nobody thought that shit was going to happen, he could potentially maybe do something to Canelo, and not taking anything away from,
especially when Al-Sheikh has been so open about his desire to convince the flagship superstar to work with him next and to make a fight that Alvarez has been consistently dismissive of. To this point, there are, to be fair, several fights to get through before Alvarez versus Crawford can possibly become a reality. At first, Crawford had to win this past Saturday, which he did. Now Canelo has to win September 14th against Berlanga, and Canelo versus Turkey has to shake out in a way that doesn't snuff out talks. Then an Alvarez-Crawford fight can be discussed.
Turkey Al-Sheikh playing games. You got somebody ask Turkey Al-Sheikh, is this happening?
Although the two fighters are similar ages, they're at very different points in their lives in terms of motivation. Crawford locked in a three-way battle with Alexander Usyk and Naoya Inoue for respect as the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. He still has ambitions. He shouldn't need to prove anything more, but he carries himself as if some of his most major accomplishments and corresponding major paydays are still in front of him. He badly wants to fight Canelo because the 168-pound champ is the ultimate challenge for a man just now moving up to 154, and because it would come with about 10 fights worth of cash all at once.
Strong forward guy will win. Good luck, guys.
But Alvarez sure seems to have hit a point in his career where adding to his legacy does not motivate him. Before picking Berlanga, he fought Hain Manja, Jermel Charlo, John Ryder, and retirement-ready Gennady Golovkin. If you're not a little old, a little small, made to order with a one-dimensional style, or all of the above, sorry, but you're probably not a fit for what Canelo wants to do from here on out. He is ready for maximum reward as long as he still gets a high reward at minimum risk. He has made it clearly clear that David Benavidez, the sort of challenge he would likely have leapt at in his 20s, is wasting his time calling him out, and while Lawshik may wave enough money at him to change his mind about Crawford. So far, Alvarez has stated that he feels taking on someone Crawford's size is a reputational no-win.
Number one, baby! Number one, baby!
PPV.com Jim Lampley summed it up nicely when speaking to Boxing Scene's Lance Pub this week. At the end of the day, it's up to Canelo to me. Terence Crawford is the no 1 pound 4 pound fighter in the world, but Canelo is the no $1 4 doll fighter, which is most important. You have arguably the best performer in the sport, probably the biggest attraction in the sport, and inarguably the most well-funded promoter in the sport. 3 totally dominant forces in their own respective ways are pulling them toward this fascinating duo position. It's happening as Crawford prepares to enter the ring this weekend, as Lawshik is promoting his first show in America, and as Alvarez is in training for a fight that Lawshik aims to devour in some figurative sense. There's an undeniable complexity to the problem. Crawford, with his impeccable record and relentless drive, stands at a critical moment in his career. His motivation to fight Canelo isn't just about the challenge. It's about the monumental payday and the historical importance of defeating a boxer of Canelo's caliber. Crawford's career has been built on taking the toughest fights and proving himself repeatedly, and this potential match with Canelo marks the pinnacle of that journey. On the flip side, Canelo's career strategy looks more calculated. He's at a stage where his choices reflect a balance between risk and reward. Manja Charlo writer Golovkin suggests a pattern. These fighters, while talented, were strategically chosen. They offered challenges that were manageable, ensuring Canelo's continued dominance without jeopardizing his standing. The choice to fight Berlanga follows this trend. It's a higher war, low-risk scenario that guarantees financial gain and continues his winning streak. Lawshik's participation adds another layer of intrigue. His approach, putting substantial financial weight behind his desires, has shaken the boxing landscape. His statements about eating Alvarez are more than just promotional bluster. They signify a shift in his strategy by positioning himself in direct competition with Alvarez. He's not just a marketer, he's a disruptor. His financial backing means he can make offers that are hard to reject, even for a seasoned fighter like Canelo. The UFC 306 sponsorship on the same night as Alvarez's fight is a bold move, a clear message that Lawshik is ready to go head-to-head with the sport's biggest names.
Like Ali Sheik say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer.
Well, with that, we do know that we'll see Canelo fighting Crawford soon, and this fact has brought around a lot of comments. Eddie Hearn has a strong opinion about the possible fight between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Hearn thinks Crawford won't beat Canelo because of the weight difference. He's not just talking about 168 pounds, he's talking about a guy who will be 185 pounds in the ring. It's a strange fight, but sometimes these dream fights get made. Hearn isn't sure this fight will get made, though he doesn't think Canelo is eager for this meeting. Canelo probably feels like beating a 147 pounds or 150 pounds guy won't earn him much respect.
For Crawford against Canelo.
He can't
started
fight
at 135. That was at 154.
Listen, he had trouble against. No, the trouble he had against Madrimov wasn't necessarily because of the size. It was a little bit because of that.
He might think, what do I get out of beating a guy from those lower weight classes? Hearn suggests that Canelo would take the fight if the business side is right. He thinks Canelo has his ideas about what he should be making for such a fight, and if His Excellency can meet those demands, Canelo will accept. If not, the fight might not happen. Canelo's career includes 2 major losses both against fighters who could move well and had enough power to trouble him. Floyd Mayweather crushed Canelo in their fight, which took place early in Canelo's career. Mayweather picked him off and avoided his power shots, showing a level of skill and experience that Canelo had yet to reach. Many claimed that Canelo lacked the experience needed for such a big fight at that point in his career.
Doing his best to do just that, but again, especially in the hands. Oh, and a clubbing left hand and a jab from Canelo. And Mayweather.
Then there was the fight with Dimitri Bivol. Bivol outboxed Canelo throughout the match, landing numerous combinations and keeping Canelo bay. Bivol's strategy involved backing up Canelo and staying out of range, which proved successful. However, Canelo later admitted he had a hand issue that affected his performance during the fight. Despite this, the rematch never happened, but the fight offered a blueprint for how to beat Canelo, unlike Canelo Crawford, who boasts a perfect record of 40-0 with 31 knockouts. This makes the possible fight even more intriguing, as Canelo would have to be the first man to topple the undefeated American skepticism about the fight's happening stems from these reasons. The weight difference, Canelo's perceived lack of motivation to fight a smaller opponent, and the financial elements that need to align exactly. It's not only Hearn that had something to say on this. Evander Holyfield also shared the same view when Evander Holyfield was asked about Terence Crawford going up 21 pounds to face Canelo Alvarez. He was clearly shocked by the idea. Holyfield, known for his insightful boxing views, expressed skepticism about Crawford's chances against Canelo, predicting that the bigger man would have the upper hand. It's going to be hard for Crawford to beat Canelo. Holyfield said,
He definitely have power, you know. Part of the game is not to get hit by the power, you know. So the thing is that, I knew I eventually had to fight him because he knocked everybody out.
He described Canelo as real basic, but he's a good fighter, showing that while Canelo may not be flashy, his size and skill make him a formidable opponent. Many boxing fans might share Holyfield's opinion after seeing Crawford's performance against Israel Madrimov, which was solid yet competitive. Crawford, who fought at super welterweight, showed skill but faced challenges in that weight class, making Holyfield's prediction seem more possible after the fight. Crawford was asked about the significance of a possible bout with Canelo. Crawford reacted with a pragmatic attitude, focusing on the financial side. "You know what I say, if the money's right, we've got to fight," he stated.
Fight is over. This fight is over. Is Canelo Alvarez the fight you want next?
Well, you know what I say, if the money's right, we gotta fight. But at the same time, he gotta fight, that he's focused on. I'm gonna go back to my family, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna enjoy this win, and enjoy all the accomplishments that I've made in the sport of boxing.
He acknowledged the importance of the Canelo fight, but emphasized that his main focus was on his current achievements and spending time with his family. "I'm going to go back to my family and enjoy this win. Enjoy all the successes that I've made in the sport of boxing." Crawford also touched on his ability to fight at 168 pounds, saying that he is physically capable of competing at that weight. "I'm pretty sure he could fight at 168. This guy is big in the minors. He fought at a higher weight than he is now, and he was very competitive." Crawford stated that despite this, he downplayed the immediate importance of the Canelo fight, seeing it as just another milestone in his career. "The Canelo fight is not so important to me. It's just another milestone to fame, I suppose, and financially." And relating to his words, we could remember Crawford saying that if Canelo didn't work out, then he had his eyes out for Benavidez.
All the criticism you're receiving, they always want you to face somebody.
They always
talking.
Everybody wants to face me. Everybody is talking about me. That's good.
Speaking to Fight Hype TV after Benavidez stopped Demetri Andrade last year, Terence Crawford called for a fight between Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez, viewing it as a 50-50 battle. Crawford praised Benavidez' skills, saying he comes in behind his jab, hitting straight punches going to the body, going up and down. He just needs to tighten up his defense a little, but he's good and ready for Canelo. Crawford highlighted the even nature of the fight. "I still got it as a 50-50 fight. Benavidez is good, but Canelo is great. Different styles, different types of fighters, we've just got to see the fight." When asked if he would consider fighting Benavidez if the Canelo clash doesn't happen, Crawford was clear. Canelo is the only one.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement.
What do you think? Share your ideas below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next one.